Okay, guys. So thank you for joining today. I could like to introduce a friend of mine and a former IFA head coach, Daniel Verdejo, who is currently Saudi Arabian with the futsal team as a assistant coach and a strength and condition coach. And the idea of today is he talking about his journey and how things can help you out to open your mind in terms of relationship, how important is to be able to be brave and take risks, because he's one person who has been taking quite a lot of risks going away from home and different countries. So I'm going to let him start. And yes, Daniel.
Okay, thank you very much, Jose. Thank you, my friend. So the first thing, thank you for Jose for inviting me here. You know, we have been talking almost for 2 months about how to organize this because of my schedule. And then also thanks for the guys for joining. I'm going to try to tell how I started and where I am now. I don't really think that I consider myself successful or not. It's just, okay, I'm working for a national team and making a living from this. And if my journey, my experience can help you to achieve something similar, I would be very happy. So that is my idea. So I call this from Utebo to the world because I am from Utebo, which is a city in Spain near Zaragoza. One of you already know, so very good. And to the world because I've been lucky enough to visit a lot of countries because of my job. I like traveling, but I am lucky enough that I travel working. So it's almost like perfect. And that allowed me to know different experiences, like with people, with religions. You will see later, okay? So we are going to start. I'm going to just do a brief introduction. Then I will explain my professional career, my education background, because I really think it's very important for my professional career. Also, two small details from my personal life that I really believe that helped me to achieve what I achieved so far. And then for me, the most important part of the presentation, which is the key messages that I want to give you, and maybe is the key messages that you can take home to apply to yourself. Of course, if you have any question during the presentation, feel free to stop. If not, I will continue, and at the end, we can share as many questions as we want, because I have no time limitation. Okay, guys. So let's crack on. If you see this picture, and I ask you, which profession is this guy? Probably you can say, oh, he's a cook. Oh, no, he's a painter. He's a musician. So you don't really know. Yes? So this is something that I apply to myself, okay? So my whole life, I've been an athlete. I've been running. And I still run. I still compete when I have time. Then I've been a teacher. I've been a tutor. I've been a PE teacher in primary schools, in secondary schools. I've been a tutor for the FA. I've been a tutor for other federations. I am a sports scientist because I like science and I like sport. I like to do research. And when I do research, I like to publish those researches. So I am also a writer, and I published 4 books so far. And I said so far because I am working on my 5th one. As you know, I am a coach. I have been working as a head coach, assistant coach, sport scientist, strength and conditioning coach. In the past, not now, I've been helping coach physiotherapists and some coaches with some specific players that got injured to to do the rehabilitation process. And in some teams, especially even now in the last 3-4 months, I've been also scouting our team and the opposition, the rivals. So for me, it's wow. Is that positive? Maybe yes. Maybe it's positive because you have experiences in so many different fields. You learn from a lot of people. You learn from a lot of different domains. You don't have just one pathway, but at the same time, you can say, well, could be negative because you don't really focus on something specifically and you thrive for that. So the reality is, I don't know. Maybe my dad, I don't know, probably your dad also, years ago, 30, 40 years ago, people choose one career, one pathway, and they follow that career for the rest of their life. My dad has been always a mechanic, and he worked in a cars company, and he retired on that car company. But I think now with internet, with networking, with social media, with the globalization, I think people now they change and they choose from one career to a different one. They jump. But to be honest, I don't really know it. That wide background that I have helped me or not. I don't really know. Is that is something that other people should say. My professional career as a coach, assistant coach, sports scientist, when I finish university, so I will start when I finish the university. It was in 2006. That is when I finished my exercise and sports science degree in Spain, in Toledo. And I had to do like a internship in a club, in a high school, whatever, in a gym. So I was lucky enough that I did it in a first division basketball team. I didn't get paid, but I spent the whole 2005-2006 season working in a first division Spanish basketball team, professional. And that was like my first taste of professionalism, basketball. Then I finished my degree. I come back to my city and I started working as a strength and conditioning coach for the high performance regional tennis center in Aragon, in my region. I was working with all the tennis players under 17, under 18 years old. So under 10, under 12, under 14. The seniors, the over 18, they had and they were training with a different strength and conditioning coach. So I was with the youth. Then in 2008, because I started my PhD and I received a scholarship in Manchester Metropolitan University, I moved to England. I moved to England and I was lucky enough that a Spanish coach was coaching Manchester Mystic, a women's basketball team. So I started to work there in the first division. And from there, I moved to British basketball to work as a sports scientist, strength and conditioning coach with the under 20 women's British basketball national team in the European Championship. And from then I moved to England basketball, under 15, under 16 girls, and Carnegie basketball in Leeds, which now, before used to be Leeds Metropolitan University, now I think it's Leeds Beckett. So I was working in basketball. So I went from basketball to tennis, from tennis to basketball again. And in 2010, because I always loved futsal, I played futsal when I was a kid until I stopped futsal just to focus my career in athletics. But I did the courses, the coaching courses for futsal. In 2010, I had the opportunity to join Manchester Futsal Club. I joined Manchester Futsal Club as an assistant coach, a strength and conditioning coach during 2 seasons, and I got in contact with Pete Sturges, back then the head coach for the national team, and I started to work at the same time for the FA with the England futsal national team. When I was free, I also did the same role, strength and conditioning coach for England beach soccer. So I was doing both until 2012. In 2012, I kept my FA job until 2016. Okay, so I was in the FA from 2010 to 2016. But in 2012, that is when I accepted my first head coaching position. And I moved from Manchester to Sheffield, and I became the head coach for Sheffield FC Futsal. I was 2 seasons over there, and in those 2 seasons, I had the opportunity to also work with Salford Futsal Club when they started at the university, and I started to collaborate in the US with the Professional Futsal League. That then nothing happened, but we did some events, we played some international games. So I was traveling between England and the US for specific events until 2014. In 2014, after 2 years in Sheffield, Michael Escubala, he was my mate at the England national team. He offered me to become the head of coaching and sports science in the IFA and to be the head coach of the second team. Back in the time we were competing in the second division with the objective to get promoted, and Michael was coaching the first team. That was the first season, 2014-15, and in 2015-16, the second season, that is when I got promoted to be the head coach for the first team because Mike decided to retire from futsal, and that is when I met your coach now, Jose, and we spent 1 year together in the IFA. I stayed 2 years over there, 2014, 2016, very good years. I learned a lot, and in 2016, I received an offer to move to America. So after the summer, I decided to go to America. I was working as a basically futsal director for the World United Futsal Academy in California, near San Francisco, in the south of San Francisco, in the Silicon Valley. I was there coaching more or less 1 season, and in 2016, with a couple of friends, we founded Bay Area Futsal Club, which is basically I was coaching. I was owner and coach. We were quite successful, and at the same time, I started to work as a coach in the Quakes, in the Earthquakes, the MLS team, working for the academy, working for the youth as a futsal director to introduce futsal in the academy because the club wanted to use futsal as a development tool for football players. Then I moved to another club, Burlingame Soccer Club, basically to do the same role, futsal director, to use futsal as a tool to develop football players. And just before COVID, 3-4 months before COVID, I had the opportunity to work for Libya futsal national team because they had the Africa Cup of Nations. So I did an agreement with my club in America. So I left for 3, 4, 5 months. I can't remember. I think it was November, from November to just COVID, to March for the Africa Cup, because the objective was to qualify for the World Cup, the Futsal World Cup. We didn't qualify. We missed out just in the last game. Top 3 from Africa, they qualify. So we lost the bronze medal and the qualification 2-0 versus Angola. So I missed the last World Cup, and I came back to the US until the summer of 2021. The summer of 2021, I had the opportunity to join the Saudi Arabia Futsal Federation with Andreu Plaza, former head coach in Barcelona. During that Libya time and Saudi Arabia, I was in the US, and at the same time I was being a tutor, mentor for the Futsal Federation in Trinidad and Tobago. And then in 2021, in the summer, I accepted that job that Andreu offered me. And since then, we have been here. I've been lucky enough to improve with the team, to achieve good things. And it seems that we are going to continue one more year. So if everything goes well, I will stay here until August 2025, and then we will see. So that is my professional journey from basketball into futsal. As I said, that is the first national team that I had the honor to participate. England, when we qualify in Lithuania for the first ever time for a main round in the European Championship. Then I had the opportunity to work with the US futsal national team in a couple of events versus Barcelona and Mexico, the Africa Cup of Nations with Libya, and now 2 Asia Cups so far, the last one just 2 weeks ago with Saudi Arabia. As I said before, my professional career is not only futsal. I do a lot of research in my spare time. I've published 4 books, one in tennis, the first one in basketball, the second one, and then the next 2, third and fourth, about futsal. And then I published more than 100 scientific papers, and I collaborate with more than 25 scientific journals as a member, like reviewer, like board member, etc. So it's not only futsal what I do, even now, and that keeps me a lot of, like, quite busy. But as I said before, all this pathway that I achieve professionally, I really think could have not been possible without my education. So I did physical education teaching degree, okay, in Spain. Then I did another degree, a second one, in exercise and sport science. And then I decided to do a master in sport performance. And after the master is when I started my international PhD. I received a scholarship, as I mentioned before, so I moved to Manchester Metropolitan University. That is when I moved to England, and I spent 8 years in England. I finished my degree in 2013, and then I stayed in England because the job opportunity, they were good. I was working since 2010 already with Manchester Futsal Club and the FA. But something that is important is 10 years ago when I finished my 10 years ago when I finished my PhD. That doesn't mean I didn't do anything else. So because now in the last 9-10 years I've been just working in futsal, my courses, my seminar, my continuing professional development courses, they have been in futsal. So I keep learning, I keep doing some futsal coaching courses from Spain, from other federations. But the thing is, don't stop learning, keep learning. That is my first advice, and I am still doing, when I have time, some seminars, some workshops, whatever. I think it could help me to learn something new, because if you stop learning, you stop progressing. Okay, guys? So invest in yourself, guys. Take online courses, talk to people to know how other people they do things, do seminars, read a lot. But I like reading, but because my time is limited, I read books that they are related to my job, because that way I can also get something that I can apply and keep trying, keep talking with different people, with joining groups. That is, education is key. That's my opinion about education, about learning. Okay. And then I have two things that I want to share with you about my personal life. As I mentioned before, I like traveling and I've been an athlete. So being an athlete, individual sport, you know athletes. I am a long distance runner. So I have to train a lot alone. I have to keep pushing myself. I have to be disciplined. I have to keep working hard. And then I like traveling. I like learning from everybody. Since I was a kid, I was very, very curious. Okay, so that all these small aspects about my life, they gave me a hard working attitude, resilience, discipline, how to work together, good work ethic, commitment. So if I want to be competing good in one competition, I have to commit to the training for weeks. So that is helping me in my professional career to manage my time very, very well. When you have to do a research, a PhD, you need to have deadlines and you have to follow them. So that helps you a lot with your time management. Because I like traveling and because I had the opportunity to meet with different people from different countries, you get knowledge from different cultures, which help your mind. You know different religions, what is good, what is bad, how they think. You have to adapt to training sessions. You have to adapt different times because they have to pray or because they cannot eat, whatever. Okay. You learn languages. I speak Spanish. I speak a bit of English, and now I am learning Arabic. So that also gives you some knowledge, and you visit different countries. So if you think that what I achieved so far is something that, wow, I want to be like Daniel in the future, I would like to achieve that, and you think that is success, Alistair McCaw, a guy that I met him before, and I really recommend his books. You have to, if you have passion and you follow that passion, you have a mindset for that, and then you have discipline, I am pretty sure that you will achieve whatever you want to achieve professionally. So that is the second key message: passion, mindset, and discipline. Okay, so we are almost at the end. I don't really want to be talking here for hours. Key messages. Very, very important. Always you have your principles as a person, you have your values, you have friends. It's very important, the balance about what you give, what you take. It's very important, your family. Make sure that when you work hard to achieve your dream job, you also allow time for your family to relax, for you. Make sure you have challenges, you challenge yourself, but also you accept everything. Contribute, share with people, because I really believe that if you share, then in the long term you will receive more. Keep growing, keep learning, and follow always. Then maybe in the short term, because you follow your principle, you follow your belief, you think, oh, I am not progressing, but I really think that in the long term, if you are a good person, you will achieve more. Then, as I mentioned before, education, continuing professional development is key. So keep learning, never stop learning, keep making courses, seminars, workshops, read books, watch now videos on YouTube, read social media, etc. But don't stop learning. Something that I want to tell you is, when I was at the university, I was in the classroom with 40, 50 people. Okay? At the end of the 3 years degree, all those 50 people, they are going to have the same qualification as I have. So you have to do something different if you want to be different to them. So I had like a rule, and I was in the university competing myself. So you have to manage your time very well. But my rule was, I want to do 3 events, so 3 courses, 3 seminars, 3 workshops every year. So if you stay in the university 3-4 years, that means that when you finish the university, you will have a minimum of 9-12 seminars that maybe other people don't have. So you finish university and you have something different from them. And then, as I mentioned before, I try keep learning. So I try to keep doing 1 event every year after. So even now, I try to do at least 1 course every year, depending sometimes about new tendencies in strength and conditioning, or sometimes about coaching, or about mentoring, or about how to, I don't know, how to speak publicly, or how to manage a dressing room. I don't know. There are so many things that, depending which pathway you follow, there is so many seminars that you can join. But I try to keep 1 yearly after I finish my university degree. Also, networking. Super important. Networking, meeting people, and always following your principles, okay? But for example, when all these jobs, especially in a sport job, they are related, a sport job related, the connections is everything. So I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't get my Saudi Arabia job because I applied. No, they called me because I knew the head coach. So the federation contacted Andreu, and Andreu knew me. So directly he offered me the job. It's not because I applied. When I moved to Libya, if we go back, when I did my experience in Libya, it was the same. The fitness coach for the Spanish national team knew me, and he knew that they hired a Spanish head coach for Libya. So he put me in contact with the head coach because they were looking for a strength and conditioning coach. So basically, connections. When I moved to the US, it was because, thanks to the FA, when we played some friendly games against the US, I met the assistant coach for the US back in the time. So the assistant coach in the US offered me the job. When I moved to the IFA, because I knew Mike, because we used to work together in the FA for the England Futsal national team, he offered me the job. So networking will give you more visibility, access to information, mentorship. You will receive feedback from your colleagues. Sometimes you can have support even from them. And as I mentioned, you maybe have career opportunities. So networking is key. And social media. I will be honest with you, I am very bad at this. Okay? I am extremely bad. But nowadays, I really think it's important. So it's a platform to show your job. It's a platform to learn from other people. You can even network through social media, to interact with colleagues from social media, and very important, to create a personal brand. So I have Twitter, I have LinkedIn, I have a blog, I have Instagram, and I have YouTube. Everything because a former co-worker, Dr. Marcus Laupheimer, encouraged me so many times when we were working together in the FA. social media is so important nowadays. So I follow his advice and I created all those platforms. I still don't have Facebook, and all my platforms, they are only professional. So you will not see anything personal about me in my social media. It's everything personal, but it's very important to have them. It's very worthy nowadays, but be very, very careful, because everything you publish is there. Even things that you published 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago, they could be found on the net. So be very professional and very careful about what you publish, because even now I know that nowadays when you apply for a job, they even sometimes they check your social media about what you publish and what you don't publish. So they could be a good platform for you, but at the same time, you have to be very careful about what you want to publish out there. And finally, just to finish, Wayne Goldsmith is a Australian coach, a swimming coach, and you have to dare to be different. He has this different advice to achieve greatness. You have to be different from everybody else. Okay, you have to be a visionary. You have to think okay, I want to do this, and don't think it's impossible. Don't. Improve always, continuously, and keep thinking about how to improve. If you want to change something, do it. Change. Don't just wait. Things will not change for you. If you want to be a coach, just let's try to be a coach. Then don't think about, I want to do the best coach. I want to be the best coach. No, every day you want to be better, better, better. Don't copy, learn from other people, but then adapt to yourself. Winning and losing, so getting a job or not getting a job, you have to treat that about the same. It's not about winning or losing. It's not about getting a job or not getting a job. It's about getting better every time. So if you go to an interview and you don't get the job, don't think, oh, I lost the job. No, try to learn from that experience in that interview and what you can improve for the next interview in your next job. When you do something and it doesn't work, there is always a different way to do it. Even if it works, there is another way to do it. So somebody will achieve the same in a different way. So always think that there is another way. And it's very important that you surround yourself with good people. Avoid people, policies, and practices that they are telling you what to do all the time. Okay, guys? And then never, ever, never stop dreaming. And I have a dream, which is to qualify for the World Cup, Futsal World Cup. And 2 times I didn't qualify, one for Libya and one just 2 weeks ago with Asia, in the Asia Cup with Saudi Arabia, sorry. But I don't give up, and I keep learning and I keep improving for the next time to achieve, because I want to tell you just before finishing one thing. Everybody's telling me, oh, it's impossible, it's impossible. And to be honest with you, our team, we need to improve to qualify, but there is nothing impossible. And don't think that when you have a dream and if the dream is too high, you are basically thinking about something impossible. Because I'm going to tell you something that is a true story. 2 guys, they are at the university, they finish a degree, they start working, they are friends, and they are getting paid £1,000 per month. Okay, they are talking about where do you want to be in 10 years time. So one guy in 10 years time wants to be in a job getting £3,000 per month. Okay. The other guy, the other friend, it said that in 10 years' time, he wants to be working in a company and his objective is to get £10,000 a month. So the other guy is saying, oh, come on, £10,000, that is unrealistic. So they split, they separate their ways, they follow their careers, and 10 years' time, they met again and they were talking about, oh, did you achieve your dream? Did you achieve your dream? And the guy said, yes, my dream was to get £3,000 per month. And now I am in a job, very good job, and they pay me £3,000 a month. So I am very happy because I achieved the dream that I had. The other guy said, what about you? Did you get your dream, the $10,000? And the guy said, no, the £10,000 a month. No, I didn't achieve it. I told you that was unrealistic. You were not going to achieve it. You see, me, I achieved it, but you didn't. And the guy said, well, I am not getting £10,000. I am in 8,000. So the thing is, he didn't achieve the dream, but it's very close. What do you want? 3,000 or 8,000? So that is the same. My objective is to go to the World Cup. I didn't achieve it yet, but we are close. And if you only dream to participate in the Asia Cup, maybe you don't even participate in the Asia Cup. If you achieve to go to the World Cup, we participate in the Asia Cup, and we had chances in the last two. We didn't go through by one goal difference one time, and then the last one because we had very, very bad 7 first minutes against Iraq. But we are working hard. Never stop dreaming, guys. Okay. Here you have my contact details, by the way, so feel free to contact me or follow me. And Jose, if you want, we can start with the questions.
Daniel, thank you very much for your time and for your journey. I think it's quite amazing to see how you've been moving around, how you've been achieving the things that you have been achieving on your life with the perseverance that you have. So I've got a few questions, but I'm going to open for you guys. Is anyone want to make any question to Daniel before?
I have a couple questions, actually.
Okay, go, Tom.
If that's all right.
Yeah, no problem.
You might need to open back up your presentation because you might not. Well, you'll probably remember it. It's your life, but just to help everybody else see and me see. I was going to ask which part of your professional career, when you went through from 10 to 2021, which part of your professional career did you feel helped your journey the most, and why? And then a separate-ish question: which part was your favorite?
Okay, 1 sec. I'm going to do what you said. You are so share.
You always need to do what Tom say. He's
yes,
good telling people. He's good telling people what to do.
Okay, so is that the slide that you want to see?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, perfect. So the years. Okay, which one do you?
So I was going to say, which part do you feel helped you the most in your journey? Because, like, let's say me, I've played futsal for a long time, but I know where I learned the most futsal. So for you, where do you think you learned the most? How old were you?
Okay, I think I said you keep learning all the time. So I learned in England. I learned in Spain. I learned in England. I learned in the US. I learned in Libya because also I was working with different coaches. I was working with Pete. I was working with Michael. I was working in Libya with Julio, and now with Andreu. But if I have to say, the most one is since 2021 in Saudi Arabia, because first thing is completely 3 years now, full time, only futsal, just futsal for the national team, watching the league and everything. But also because I had the fortune to be with Andreu, that he spent 5 years in Barcelona. So with the best players in the world, Perrao, Diego, Didac, Sergio Lozano, etc., etc., etc. He won everything, even the European, the Champions League. So we spent a lot of time together, and we live basically in the same place. So the most I would say the experience where I learned the most is since 2021. That doesn't mean in the other ones I didn't, because for example, I always say that the Spanish coach that I work with him in Manchester Mystic and in British basketball under 20 women's, Sergio Lara Percial, still working in England, is a professor at Leeds Beckett University. I think he is one of the, in my opinion, in the top 3 coaches that I have ever met in my life. So, but if we are talking about futsal, since I moved to Saudi Arabia, that is the best experience. And the second question was, sorry, can you repeat it?
When do you enjoy the most?
No. It wasn't why do you enjoy it most. It was which part was your favorite? Because in my situation, I learned the most in one situation, but it was not my favorite. Which did you enjoy the most?
I would say America, because America, you know, America is the US is quite interesting. So I'll have very good friends over there. And when I decided to open and found with 2 more colleagues a club by myself, Bay Area Futsal Club, is because I wanted to have a legacy or have something over there. The club is still running, and they are still competing, even I am here. So I would say America is the best one. That doesn't mean
Okay,
here
well,
I am not good.
I was going to say that links into another question that I had, which was, where did you find the most success in growing futsal? Was it in the Bay Area starting your own club, or was it when you tried to implement futsal into the Quakes and also in the 2020 years?
Let me think. So a lot of success, a lot. It was with the England futsal national team when we qualified for the first time for a main round. We never did before, and we did it in 2012. Okay, that was a massive success. Then in America, with this club here, which is one sec. Oops, sorry. Let's see. With this club here, okay, which is La Familia Futsal Club, and with this one here, Bay Area, we won. I was the head coach, and we won the championships in America in the Northwest back to back. Okay, 2016 and 2017. That was big success for me because those players, they never played futsal before. And now, if I'm honest, what we are achieving here in Saudi Arabia, we qualified for the last 2 Asia Cups, and Saudi Arabia only played before one, maybe 20 years ago, and because FIFA banned Kuwait, so they call Saudi Arabia. So basically, it's successful experience here. We, you know the geography about Saudi Arabia or not? Saudi Arabia basically is a peninsula, but it's in the Persian Gulf. So there is 6 countries in the Gulf: Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Oman. Okay, they have the Olympic Games for just these 6 countries. So we finished silver medal a couple of years ago. Also, we finished silver medal in the West Asia Cup. So success in England, success in America, success here. I would say but also with Sheffield when we won the league, or when the IFA when we got promoted to the first division. If I'm honest, I cannot complain.
Okay, last question. Last question. This is more just personal. It should not take too long. When you were at Sheffield, did you know Ernest Plantada?
Ernest, well, I know Ernest because Ernest, when I was at Sheffield, Ernest was working at Birmingham Futsal Club.
Right. Okay. And he came to Sheffield when you left?
And then I left and he moved to Sheffield, but I don't know if he moved to Sheffield the same year I moved to the IFA or the year after.
Right. Okay.
But
okay, that was my questions.
But yes, I know Ernest from Barcelona.
Oh, yeah, that's why I was just wondering. He coached me at Sheffield, so I was wondering if you knew him.
Oh, you were playing at Sheffield?
Yeah, in 2012, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
You're very welcome.
I got a question that you got here, and it's probably related to that timeline.
Should I take this out?
No, leave it.
Okay.
Let's put it back. So, in which moment of your career do you think I can live from futsal?
Very easy. 2014. And I will tell you why. When I moved to England 2008, I have no problem to tell you that in 2008, I moved to England for my PhD. I got paid a little money by the university, but I have no problem to admit I could not live on that. So I was working in a McDonald's. Okay. So 2008, I was working in a McDonald's to basically make a living together with the university and together coaching. Then I don't know if you know, guys. Do you know the guy Bikeability? Bikeability is in England when you go to the schools and you practice skills with your bike and like road safety with the bike. Okay, so I was a Bikeability instructor from 2009, 2010 until 2014. So I was a Bikeability instructor and I was coaching for the FA. I was paid by the FA, but not to make a living. And I was coaching Manchester and Sheffield. And in 2014, when Mike Escubala offered me the job and I accepted the job to go to the IFA, that is the moment when I stopped all the other jobs. And between my IFA job and the England futsal job, I was living. I was making the living. So 2014. So basically now it's been 10 years full time into coaching. And I am 42. So basically until I was 32, I was not full time in coaching.
Any other question, you guys?
I do have one question. Just
go, Ivan.
I have one question on S&C. You as an S&C coach, there's not a lot of information out there on futsal in terms of research, I think personally. So you as an S&C coach, where do you look to learn, for example, programming for a futsal player or to improve futsal players? Where do you look, or do you just go off trial and error and try to apply it that way?
So strength and conditioning is specific for futsal?
Yes.
Or in general?
Yeah, like for futsal specific types of drills or just as well S&C, the gym.
So in general, you know that so many countries, especially UK, you have the UK Strength and Conditioning Association that they focus on. But if you are talking about a specific futsal, yes, you are right. There is not a lot of things specifically in futsal, and there is, I think, absolutely nothing in English language. That is a big problem. So you can always check on YouTube or some courses in Spanish that I can give you more detail about that, but then you will need to translate them. I said YouTube because in YouTube you don't need translation. You can see the videos and check the drills. I don't know if you understand Spanish. That's the other thing. If you understand Spanish, I can give you even, there is a YouTube channel called Carlos Cabezas.
Yes. Carlos Cabezas, yeah.
And he already did a fitness course online for free. And in that course, I think it's like 5 or 6 episodes. One about the strength, one about agility, one about flexibility, one about endurance, specific to futsal. And you have drills, you have videos, and also you have the theory before. But Carlos Cabezas is a good resource, maybe.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that. I like that one, Carlos Cabeza. And they got a lot of games that you can watch, even if it's not going for information. He always put full games for the Spanish league, so that is something that you can use to watch. I got a couple of questions for you. Okay, I think you were talking about qualification, and I think you give a really good point of what is going to make you stand out from the rest.
Yes.
I think here when we go one-on-one with Dan and Samantha mentioned a lot, build UCV. And important that will make you. Which one do you think there is any specific qualification that you will say, well, this is a must that you can have? Obviously, there is one that is more important. Do you think that a master's it can help you to progress? Do you think get a higher education? It's got a specific education. What do you think can be a good pathway for these guys who are still doing the bachelor? They're going about to finish the degree.
I think everything depends on what their career looks like. So if they want to be coaches, of course, you have to do the licenses. That is a must, because without licenses, you will never get a coaching job. If you want to be a sports scientist, minimum, if you want to go high in the ladder, minimum you need a master. Minimum. Now most of the sports scientists they have a PhD. If you want to be I don't know, a sport director, like a manager, you have to do this kind of studies about management, legal aspect, and all these things. Depending what you dream for.
Okay. And I got one more. I don't know if anyone got anyone else, but I got one more, and it's related to relationship.
Yes.
I think you said that you learn from everyone that you are with, whatever is good or bad. There is always something that you can learn. You can learn what you wanted to do, or you might learn what you don't want it to do, or what you don't want it to be. And you're talking about how important it's been those relations for you, that thanks to those relationships, you have managed to get the job that you got at the moment, and some of the previous job, they've been offered to you rather than you apply to them.
Yes.
If you can give an advice, how will you recommend the people to keep those relationships, to create those relationships? Any tip that you can give it to them? Any advice? I think you mentioned about join groups.
Yes. So first, okay. Now there is WhatsApp groups, Twitter groups, Facebook groups about strength and conditioning in futsal, or about scouting, or about, you can always join them. So, and then you can start in contact. That is one. Then, of course, when you just meet somebody, that doesn't mean you have to be talking to the guy every day. but just keep the relationship and keeping the relationship at the end is something personal. It's not like if you're a bad guy, then you will not have the relationship. So for example, you just keep normal relationship. You don't keep the relationship because you expect something working related from that. You know what I mean? So with Andreu, we did things together before, like clinics and camps for kids. He went to Barcelona and he was working in Barcelona, but I was not talking to him every day. But when he won one title, hey, congratulations, mate. I hope everything is okay. And just a small message. Or when he had a bad day, like for example, Sergio Lozano got injured with the ACL, just a message. Hey, mister, how are you? I hope everything is okay with Sergio. You will find a way to recover from that. And I know that you will miss Sergio for the next 9 months, but the team is going to be good. So just keep in contact, and sometimes then you talk more, sometimes you talk less, but it's just keep in touch with people, but as a person, not like I want something from them, because you feel that and the other person will feel it. Always you can imagine you are in contact with, I don't know, with one coach in Brazil, and then for whatever reason you travel to Brazil for holidays with your wife, but you can message him, hey, is there any opportunity we can meet for dinner? And then maybe we meet for dinner, or is there any opportunity I can go to watch one of your training sessions? And then, oh yeah, no problem, you go to watch one training session, and maybe years after the guy needs some coach and thinks about you because, I don't know, because you speak English and he needs somebody who speaks English, for example. You never know.
Would you recommend the people to go to watch other coaches?
Definitely. Because you mentioned, Jose, you mentioned something that you can learn even what not to do. So even if you go and you think, oh, this coach is terrible, I am pretty sure that if you think, you will learn what not to do. So it's something positive that you take. Hopefully you learn something good to do. But
Not always the case. Not always the case.
And then something about coaches, that is something that I want to mention. At the end of the day, tactics, everybody can learn tactics, okay? To play 3-1, 4-0, to defend a 2 versus 1, or to attack 4 versus 3, you study that and you learn and you know how to do it. I think the most difficult part is how to manage a group of players during one season, and all the difficulties that has, and also how to communicate and how to transfer your knowledge to the players. So this is what, when I go to meet with other coaches, or when I am meeting with other coaches, I want to learn about that. I want to learn how they deal, how they manage the changing room, how they communicate with the players, how they transfer their feelings. So that is for me what you should try to look from other coaches, because at the end, tactics is on the books.
Okay. So, guys, do you got any other question?
I'll go one more if we have time.
Yeah. For me, unless you have something to do, but for me, I have a completely free night.
Okay, so my question is, obviously, you said that you wanted to be a futsal coach, but when you started your career, obviously you done first of all basketball, tennis. I want to ask you, why is that? Is that because it gives you like different opportunities, or maybe because basketball. So you say basketball was in first division in Zaragoza, I think you said, or I forgot what city. But is that because it was a better opportunity than going to do a futsal coaching in another club?
Okay, so the first thing, I love sport. Okay, every single sport. So that is why I study what I study. And as I mentioned, the last year of my degree, I had to do the internship for the whole year, and I had the opportunity because I had good relationship with one professor in the university. The professor is a doctor, is a medical doctor, and he was the doctor for the team, for this team, for the Fuenlabrada team in Madrid. Okay, in the ACB division. So I had good relationship. So I went there because I wanted to experience high performance, and the opportunity was there. If you are asking me, okay, if you had the chance to go to Real Madrid, yes, probably I would have chosen Real Madrid instead of Fuenlabrada, but I have the opportunity there. And then my idea was to be a strength and conditioning coach and a sports scientist. That was my idea, okay? And I finished my degree, I finished my internship at Fuenlabrada, so I have to choose tennis, not because I wanted to be a strength and conditioning coach in tennis, just because that opportunity came to me and I have to make a living. And of course, I enjoy. At the end, I was doing what I wanted, strength and conditioning. And then when I went to basketball again, of course, I was the strength and conditioning coach here, and I am pretty sure that my experience in Fuenlabrada helped to get this. And then when Manchester came, basically it was like, oh, this is my opportunity to do to work in what I really enjoy, because the sport that I most enjoy is running and playing futsal. So it was a journey that I didn't really expect, but it took me that way until I landed in futsal. Then from Manchester, I moved to the FA. And thanks, by the way, to the coach here in basketball, because that coach had a meeting with Peter Sturgess, and Peter Sturgess was looking for a strength and conditioning coach in futsal. So the basketball thing helped me to get the FA, and of course my experience also with Manchester. And then this is important. I had the opportunity to be a head coach, and that is a transition in my career. I didn't expect, to be honest with you, to move from strength and conditioning into coaching, but Sheffield offered me that possibility, and dealing with players and teaching players is something that also came from my first PE degree. Remember that I did a PE degree in teaching, so it's like coaching is more related to teaching than strength and conditioning. So that is when I moved the transition, but I didn't plan that, honestly with you. It was something took me to a different place, and then from there, and then and now I am doing coaching, scouting, and strength and conditioning at the same time.
Okay. And my last question is, obviously, as for young coaches that as we start now our career in coaching, obviously, like the first few jobs is already to get experience. Very unlikely you won't get paid. So,
yes.
As you said, just working a different job. So, I think you made like a quad jump going from Zaragoza to Madrid to Fuenlabrada, and like if you have to give advice for young coaches that they're starting in the coaching career, but obviously they're not getting paid, they're only there to get experience, and obviously they probably they work in a different job. What would your advice be?
So the first thing, not getting paid for something is very bad, but in coaching, it's happening every day. And I coach for free. So basically, I was volunteering. That is why I was working in McDonald's. So my advice to you is, if you really want to achieve a career in coaching, you have to start and you have to get experience from somewhere. If you can get that experience from a paid job, of course, accept it. But if you need to start from a voluntary job, of course, I will recommend you, yes, accept it. If you manage that volunteering coaching position with a work, the time management is good, do it. I know it's hard, it's very hard, and I know that probably you don't want to be coaching for free, but that is going to give you a value experience for the future. And hopefully, at some point, that experience that you have will get you into a paid job position. So definitely, I really recommend, and I did myself, volunteering if you need to do it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do we got any other question, guys? No? So I think we can stop here. We just been an hour and a half, I think. It's really helpful, your time and your view. And I'm going to thank you for your time, Daniel. Thank you for your wisdom and your key messages. I think that hopefully the young coaches will take that in consideration, and hopefully the ones that are leaving us in July after they graduate and they're starting their journey will have some ideas of what things they can do to start and how they can start navigating that new journey they will take into coaching.
And thank you to you, Jose, for inviting me, and to the, I think, 12, everybody here, the 12 people listening. I hope that it has been useful for you guys. Jose, feel free to share the presentation with them. So if they want to contact me for any specific detail, I am more than happy with that. If you guys want to go through Jose, also you can go through Jose and Jose can ask me. But anything you need, don't be shy. Ask.
Okay, I'll share the last slide with all your contact, and I will let them to take that responsibility to get in touch with you. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Well, I think we're going to stop here. Thank you guys for joining us, and I will see some of you in about an hour. Okay, guys.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. Good luck in the
Thank you
training.
very much.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good, Daniel. Bye, Jose.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Te tienes que ir ya, ¿no?
Sí, me tengo que ir. Tenemos ahora el lío con con lo de la final y tenemos que ver qué hacemos. Bueno, que no, realmente ya me han dicho.
Si quieres, para eso, para la grabación, si quieres.
No me entiende nadie.